And welcome inside the backstage pass. Always a busy day, too. And we got the quintet box going on, too. And Andrew helped me think of that before the show was right there, too. Here on the backstage pass, again, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com and our friends at KKTC True Country 99.9 in Towson up there into Colorado and hightidecountry.net. And it's kind of cool when you get to step away from doing some different things. And of course, like next week, you guys know I never discriminate. I do all genres of music, including Americana. And this group out there, them Dirty Roses, joining us here. All the guys here in the quintet box. What's up, fellas?
What up, man?
What's going on? It's good to be here.
Andrew, Ben, James, they're all here, man. Frank, they're all here too as well. The Ford brothers. Birmingham Steel come out today, in fact, here May the 15th of our good Lord year 2024. I guess I'll start right there. Andrew, excited to get this music out to the fans. And what a cool day to have you guys on the exact drop date, too. That's the best part.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be good, man. We've been looking forward to this one for a long time. It's been a couple years in the making, and we're super excited that the world finally gets to hear it.
No doubt, too. Well, tell us how this one came about as far as Birmingham Steel goes. The writing, I know every good song has a good story behind it. Frank, what you got on this one, too, as far as the idea behind Birmingham Steel?
I think I'm not sure who brought. Was it Philip White that brought the story? It was
Philip.
Yeah. And then Philip White brought it to us in Fame Studios, and we kind of, tried to finish it, and then just get in there and hound it out. And
yeah,
Ben's got a kind of better explanation of the writing, I think.
Yeah, we were in
James.
there with Philip White and James LeBlanc. And Philip he was working on that, I think. And we just all got together. We talked about it for a little while and talking about the story. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And just started arranging a lot of stuff too after there wasn't much to write on it. But I think we finished it and then started arranging everything and then put it down in the studio. And that
Which is good.
was
That's
that.
The fun part is when you get in that studio and you kind of see it come to life with all the instrumentation. It's one thing to have, as I know some fans, you get the demo first, kind of check it out, make sure it's all bells and whistles are good. But it's cool kind of going in the studio and then mixing, mastering, and putting all the instrumentation with it, that kind of thing, guitar riffs and licks and stuff like that. Talk about that, process of how much fun it is to see it come to life.
And yeah, I mean that's my favorite part of the whole thing is just you get to hear it go from its rawest form of a guy with an acoustic guitar singing it, then to a whole band with all of the little intricacies that follow that, and then getting to brainstorm on those and sit around and we're all four in there just thinking, kind of talking, listening, and somebody will come in with like, oh, hey, dude, it would be really cool if there was like this kind of sound going on here. And then somebody else be like, oh, yeah. And then, we could accent that with this. And, you get to the wheels get turning. And it's just such a fun process once you see it go from the beginning to end. And then you get to hear the end product is even more fun because once we leave the studio, there's still weeks, maybe months sometimes of mixing and mastering and getting the levels. And we've only heard what we put in that day, but we didn't hear it in its final form. So it's an exciting thing to be a part of for sure.
Yeah, no doubt too. And let's talk about you guys and the backstory of how you met and came together as a group to form this particular band. Also want to get the story right there, and I guess Ben will come to you with this one. You guys meeting, coming together, forming the group, and then how to come up with just a cool name such as them Dirty Roses. I think that's a pretty cool name for a group.
Yeah, man. I can't take credit for the name. I was there when it was being established. But no, James had moved. We graduated all, went to the same high school. We all kind of had our own little high school project bands that some better than others for sure. And we James had moved up to Nashville and had been hanging out with some writers and stuff. And James was a drummer. He had never really he had wrote songs, but he had never really been into singing out loud and playing guitar because he was a drummer, So I think that being up there in Nashville and being around a lot of the writers and stuff opened his eyes, like I could totally do this. And then more practice and playing more guitar and stuff, that kind of woke him up to where he do it, and he could play songs and play out to people. And then he knew that we had some bands back home, our little garage bands and stuff. And he's like, "Why don't y'all move up here and we'll create our own band and we'll do our own thing and make it happen." And some years passed while James was in Nashville, and then me, Frank, and Andrew all loaded up what we had. Moved to Nashville in 2014. We all lived in the same bedroom in a house on Cherokee Road in West Nashville. And
Good times.
we had gotten together and started figuring out. We didn't have a band name yet, but as the story goes, James and his buddies were walking down the road in Broadway, and a guy was selling flowers. They were all beat up and pretty tarnished and stuff. And he said, buy pretty ladies, buy a flower, and they were all beat up. And a buddy of ours said, "Well, how much do you want for them?" And he said, $10. And our friend said, "Well, I'll give you $10, but I don't want them dirty roses." And then there you go. And then that sounded pretty damn badass, and we were like, "Okay, we can work with that for a little while." And a little while turned into 2024, sitting right here on Backstage Pass podcast.
There you go. It's crazy how these things. What a story for a name too, man! Just to call out a name and it just kind of sticks. Right there too. Hey, I love Musically because you guys have such different, diverse backgrounds, and then it's kind of pretty much some of the same, similar ones. Andrew, I'll come back to you on this one. Just talk about the blending of it, that cohesiveness. Knowing you can trust in. When I call a band, it's always your brothers. It's kind of like put up or shut up every day. Everybody's got to be on the same page and kind of be able to work together. And you guys, I feel like you have that cohesiveness in your music and that camaraderie.
Yeah, man. It's great because, obviously we all grew up listening to some similar stuff, some different. Everybody's got the Allman Brothers and Skynyrd and all that kind of stuff. But personally, like I grew up on the, more rock and roll side of things. It's like Pantera and Ozzy and Sabbath and GNR and all that stuff. And everybody has that little thing that they were growing up listening to that was different from, your standard kind of Southern rock deal. So, I'm sure that the rest of them will be able to chime in on their influences, but as it all came together, it seems like it sort of fit, with everything being all together, as opposed to, sometimes you get a bunch of people together and they're all great, but nothing really works out. There's not anything it doesn't feel right. And somehow we just got lucky enough and, everything seemed to click together, even our weird, diverse influences, some of the more obscure stuff, it all just locked in. And so it was kind of effortless, to be honest with you. With that part of it, there's been tons of effort, but that part of it was kind of effortless. So that was definitely a nice, pleasant surprise.
Yeah, no doubt too. Frank, as far as the influences go, was it pretty similar to James? A little bit different on the musical influences? Kind of chime in there a little bit.
It was pretty similar. Like when I was, I think in middle school, I think he already had all these songs downloaded and stuff. So I started learning all those and kind of, it was like mostly rock stuff, like really good. That's when I found out about grunge and all that stuff. And I started getting into grunge, but I grew up with like the first stuff I was learning was like, Led Zeppelin, Grand Funk Railroad, and stuff in that vein kind of thing. And then I kind of ventured off into the grunge era, and then kind of, loved all that stuff. Then all the classic rock radio songs, I know all that stuff. I like to play all that.
Yeah. Frank's the best steering wheel drummer you've ever seen. This side
of yeah, I've got it. I've got it down.
You got them skills.
Yeah. Some skills, huh?
Me and Ben started jamming
kind of did it for you, man,
early.
as far as music goes.
As far as music goes, I'm same as Frank. We used to listen to a lot of Allman Brothers and stuff like that. Even though like Otis Redding, Wilson Pickett, Percy Sledge type stuff. But then we even like get into like one of our favorite bands is like Third Eye Blind. That one record is like badass. I love that album, which is weird for some people to hear. They're like, "You like Third Eye Blind?" I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Dude, that's like as a band one of the favorite records.
Yeah.
You see it,
Yeah,
baby. You see it.
Yeah.
He's got it on.
But,
Jim's showing that shirt off.
Where is it? Somewhere there. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
good stuff.
it
I mean,
was
that's
all
one of the
that.
best records ever made, James. It really is, no doubt.
Yeah, man.
I
I
love
dig
that
it.
one, too. You guys had another good album I got a chance to listen to because I love to just dig and have fun with it. Lost in the Valley of Hate and Love, Volume 1 there, too. You guys put out a single there called Sunday Drunk a while back, too, which I love that one, too. We'll get to the second one here that really thought just fantastic music. But let's get into Sunday Drunk a little bit with this one, Andrew, because I think this is a cool one to talk about, too, because, like I said, this was a single before it was on that particular record. And when you put out 8, 9, 10 songs on a record, man, the body of work that goes into something like that is crazy, but it's got to feel good to still have those songs out there that fans really kind of crave.
Yeah, for sure. As far as that particular song, I think I'm going to pass this question down to James and let him talk about it because he is the principal, writer on that one.
Okay.
So, but as far as like just putting out the single and then having the whole body of work, it feels nice, to get that response. We didn't know what to expect because that was like the first real record we put out that wasn't just sort of like a little demo or EP. And so it definitely it gave us some confidence to like, hey, we might actually be able to get where we're going here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, on to James about that particular song.
Yeah, it was just I can't remember what. That was one of those songs where you're just kind of goofing off, playing around, and just not thinking too much about anything, and it just kind of comes out. And yeah, it just came out pretty easy. There wasn't too much like thought behind it, to be honest with you. It just started coming out like that. And then it's
Fell into
cool
place.
listening back to how like it did kind of relate to my life at the time. Just I didn't realize it while I was doing it, I guess.
Yeah, I love when
Nice.
that happens.
Makes for a good story, and it's I know one of the crowd favorites out there too as well. We'll take a time out here too as well. Get our word in for our sponsors here too on the Backstage Pass. Come back and talk a lot more music with the guys here from Them Dirty Roses. You can give them a follow out there on social media and themdirtyroses.com, and of course go grab the latest single while you're at it too. Birmingham Steel out there too across all those streaming platforms. But of course we'll be there June 6th to 9th, the CMA Fest 2024, 7 stages at the Ascend Amphitheater, and of course out there too, backstage at the Grand Ole Opry. We'll be there Sunday, June 9th, and then some live remotes out there. Catch us, the Backstage Pass. Ticket information all at CMAFest.com, and of course out there too as well, the lineup and schedules and all that good stuff. Download that CMA Fest Connect app and get in tune with it, man, because it's going to be a big week. It always is. Nashville's biggest week there for 2024. Excited to be a part of that. And thanks to our sponsors of Bangtail Whiskey and our friends at the CadenGordonShow.com. Today's best country mix. More with the guys from Them Dirty Roses. Hang tight. Coming right back.
The Caden Gordon Show is a 2-hour show playing the best in country music. So check it out at thecadengordonshow.com. Again, that is thecadengordonshow.com.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And, of course, if you're looking for the best in country Christian music out there, check out our good friend, Grammy-nominated recording artist out there, too, Jonathan Bond, the best out there, jonathanbond.com. Click the link there on the screen there, too. And, of course, the audio side, look him up, Jonathan Bond. On the YouTube channel, we'll see him Sunday, June 9th. It's Sunday Morning Country, the 42nd annual, hosted by the legend Brenda Lee out there, too. Broadcasted backstage from the Grand Ole Opry about 1, 2 o'clock somewhere on that Sunday, June the 9th. And, of course, we'll be there at Fanfare X inside the Music City Center doing all the great interviews there, too. At the same time, don't forget next week, 11 shows coming up next week, too. Blanco Brown is going to be one of those, and a whole lot more there. Claire Dunn and, Kaylee Hammock is going to stop by coming up next week here on the Backstage Pass. KKTC, True Country, 99.9 and our friends out there, hightidecountry.net, our streaming station in Oklahoma. Back here with the guys, Andrew, Frank, James, Ben, myself. It's the Quintet Box here we're doing here on the Backstage Pass. Of course, talking a lot about Birmingham Steel, the latest release out there from the guys, them Dirty Roses here. I want to go back here with this one, too, whoever wants to take this one here. But I love Lost in the Valley of Hate and Love, Volume 1, which is a record we're talking about, that body of work we touched on. Highway, My Home. Now, this one had to have a good story, right?
It's the story of us. Like it wrote itself almost. I mean, again, James put in the hard work of taking those words and putting them to paper, but the story behind it is just what actually happened.
Yeah, Ben can take this if you want to.
Pretty much that's how it kind of went. I mean, it's one of those things like James was saying where it just kind of flows out. I know that we had to put some time and effort into it to get it right, and James creating the lyrics and everything, but he had a pretty good topic to talk about. It was something that we were all living, and it's just one of those things where people don't realize. They see everything about the good and us out here traveling and playing, which we wouldn't have it any other way, but you sacrifice a lot that people don't see, and as many people as you hang out with, it does get lonely. You got your people back home, and the people that you're sacrificing your time away from to hopefully give a better life to. So, it's one of those things where as much as you want to be home, sadly, and gratefully that, the highway's your home now. This is where you got to make it work, in order to keep up what you kind of like a promise, but you got to be on the road to make it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Let me switch it up a little bit because I love this and I love going to shows, and I can't wait to see you guys live in Nashville or surrounding areas. You guys come to Texas, we're going to come out there and catch a show and do some coverage, shoot some video, all that kind of stuff, just like we did with the Brantley Gilbert show last weekend at Billy Bob's in Fort Worth. But best part of being on stage from each of you guys, as far as performing and playing the guitars, singing the songs, what's the best part?
Crowd response.
Yeah.
I think so like whenever, I guess since we've known each other for so long, we kind of lock in together just naturally.
Yeah, when it's real good,
and it's like our brains are like linked or something, and that's a really exciting thing to be doing, and you're like, whoa, we are freaking on it right now.
Yeah. Definitely would agree that that's probably obviously having a great crowd response is huge, but that feeling of looking over and seeing that true feeling of holy shit, we're on it. See it in everybody's eyes. I think that's probably the most enjoyable things. I mean, obviously, we're out there to make sure that the fans get every cent that they pay to their hard work and money. We want you to enjoy the show. We want you to but we're also doing it for ourselves because, I mean, if we weren't having a good time, it wouldn't be any fun for anybody because it reflects. But when we're having a good time because we're out there smiling and cutting up and we're down. You know what I mean?
I don't think there's anything to add too much to that. It's an overall kind of euphoria.
Solos, Andrew, don't bullshit.
Those are actually the most stressful part of the day because it's like, oh man, I gotta fool people into thinking I'm worth a shit at this instrument that I claim to be able to play. So I think it's a little stressful when you get to that point. The rest of it is just, that's always a good time.
Yeah.
I like that. Hey, take me back to one from earlier this year, just as of a couple of months ago, Candle in the Dark. And I thought that was, man, what great lyrics in that one, too. And what a way to tell a story from that one.
Yeah, man.
You want to take that one, Andrew, since you know something about that one? Or
sure.
Either one.
Whoever. I'll start it, and I'll get halfway through, and we'll see if he picks up where I get off. We were in way back a couple years ago. We were down in Muscle Shoals. What now, Ben?
During the plague.
Yeah, during the plague. Actually, this was during COVID. We went down to Muscle Shoals, over to Fame Studios, and we got a chance to sit down with some of our good buddies, Philip White and James LeBlanc, and we wrote a good chunk of what's coming out on this album. And so we were sitting there, getting through, had some good stuff, and we sort of hit a wall. And James LeBlanc was like, "Man, I got this song that it does, it's got some stuff musically to it worked out. There's like, here and there, but I really think that it is you guys. Like I can hear you guys playing it, but it's not recorded with you guys yet. So why don't we give this a stab and see if you guys can put your twist on it and make it a TDR song?" And we just immediately fell in love with it again because of our rock and roll background, and it just kind of hit. I don't think I stopped halfway through. My bad, Frank.
No, that was it. Yeah, we just kind of loved it. We was like, oh shit, what is that song?
Yeah,
kind of went and said, let's at least cut that one before we leave.
Yeah.
See how that turns out.
We get to tell him.
The title of songs always fascinate me. I love this one, James, because this has a good one here. Black Magic Lady. I thought that really told a story to fans too. Right, that one from that one. It's just a great song you guys put out in April of 2022.
That was just about kind of the the somebody you can't get out of your head and they're always around, almost like they've got a spell on you type of thing, and then and then after we had recorded it and everything, been listening to it for a while, playing it out and stuff, we started thinking about it could even mean something like drugs or something too, for just anything that's like got a spell over you, controlling what you do.
Yeah, check out the music video if you hadn't. Yeah.
We'll check that one out too. He's good. Zoom tight.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it was real dumb of me to try and do this outside. I don't know what I was thinking with the way my allergies are. Everybody in this band will tell you if I sneeze, it's going to be about 13 or 15 times, and it's going to come one after another. But hey, my dumb ass won't take Claritin, so.
Okay, you're like me. I'm taking the medicine, not down here, even in Texas this time of year in springtime where they get the worst too. Cocaine and Whiskey. Let's go back to that one. 2014, off the EP that you guys have put out, first projects there. Man, again, just another song that really, it's all about storytelling when it comes to music and connecting those fans with the songs you put out lyrically, and like I said, everything else, the demo, the mix mastered, and everything in there too in the studio, making that one come to life. And Ben, y'all really made Cocaine and Whiskey come to life.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
We appreciate it. I mean, this is definitely a topic for James to tell you, man. But I'll say my piece, and that was the first song that me and Frank had ever recorded instruments to. First time ever in a studio. First ever anything like that. But obviously James made it pretty easy for us, man. We didn't have to do too much thinking, or he had already got the foundation laid out pretty clear. So
I was sitting around at the house and I was messing around on guitar, and like Cops or something like that was on the TV, and there was this couple that was arguing in the front yard, and one of them had cheated on the other one, and the guy was wanting his like wedding ring back or his engagement ring back, and she was like, "I'll give him." Telling the cops this, she was like, "I'll give him his ring back, but he's got like all kind, like a bunch of my cocaine in the trailer. Whenever he gives me all that back, then he can have his ring back, all this and that." The cops would look at each other like, go check that out. He came out the door and was like, "No, it's in here." It's like, cool, you're both under arrest. I was just thinking, what a dumbass, like, hold on yourself on that one. And then I was in the shower after that, just honestly just thinking to myself, like, God, give me back my cocaine. That's what you're going to tell. And then it just started spitting out. I jumped out of the shower and I put that down in like 15 minutes maybe. Yeah, that one came out really quick too.
That's a jam right there too. You guys also had one too. I guess we'll come back here, Frank, on this one. Good Life. I thought this was another one you guys had as a single before it made that record we talked about there. Good Life is kind of like, what I got from it was, hey, we're living that good life. We're out there traveling, doing our dream. And the best thing is, well, the old saying, you never work a day in your life if you enjoy what you do. And that song really made me feel like that. The Good Life.
Yeah, we were actually Adam Wakefield. He kind of had that pretty much the whole song done. Then he brought it to us and we kind of just really hashed it out and kind of made the best demo we could of it before we went to the studio, and we just loved. Like, I feel like that kind of vibe is always a good type of song to make too. You know, that kind of Skynyrd sounding rock.
Yep.
But yeah, I really enjoyed making that song, but really, Adam Wakefield helped us a lot with that one.
Yeah, that one was a whole lot of fun.
He had just he was on The Voice a few years ago. I think he had just got back from Los Angeles, and he was like writing, had like some ideas about that, like going to different parties and this and that. And he's thinking like, you know, he's out doing whatever, and that people back home was like, "Man, you're living the good life," you know. He's like, "Yeah, I'm out here being
you guys have some good jams, no doubt, too. Again, all the music we're talking about today is available for streaming across all the digital platforms out there, streaming platforms, whatever you use. My preference is Apple Music, but you guys, as fans, go do what you do if it's Spotify or whatever it is out there, too, as well, because it really capitalizes on the body of work that these guys have put out from them Dirty Roses out there, too. We got to take a time out real quick. Coming back, final segment. We'll throw in a few little rapid-fire questions here, see who wants to take what, and get to know them more on a personal basis right there, too, which is good out there. Always fun to do it here. Again, June 6th tonight, CMA Fest. We're going to be there, the Backstage Pass Live, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com and live on KKTC True Country 99.9 in Towson, up into Colorado, too, as well, and our friends at HighTideCountry.net. 7 stages. Get your tickets now. The Ascend Amphitheater. The main stage is at Nissan Stadium. We'll be there Saturday night, June the 8th, having some fun there, too. And Laney Wilson is going to perform. Terry Clark, they just updated the actual lineups on CMAFest.com. Of course, Fanfare X will be there, too, inside the Music City Center, inside that media room, having a good time. And all courtesy out there, thanks to our friends at Bangtail Whiskey and the CadenGordonShow.com. Today's best country mix. Get your tickets now, CMAFest.com, or download the CMA Fest Connect app. And Andrew's got to get some sinus medicine. We're going to go to break here on the podcast. Take a little drink of water. Again, presented by our friends at Bangtail Whiskey and the CadenGordonShow.com. Coming back, final segment with TDR coming up. Stay tuned.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
The Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix, is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And, of course, looking for the best out there in country Christian music, check him out, Jonathan Bond, jonathanbond.com, and go to the YouTube channel, check out the latest, most positive video out there. We'll be there June the 9th, Sunday Morning Country, backstage at the Grand Ole Opry, Sunday, June 9th, with the legend Brenda Lee, and a whole lot more there, too. Back here on the Backstage Pass, again, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com, and, of course, out there, too, KKTC True Country 99.9. Our friends at HighTideCountry.net. TDR back with us, Andrew, James, Ben, Frank, and of course myself, the quintet box here. First time I think we've had a quintet box in a long time, which is a good thing here on the Backstage Pass. All right, so rapid fire coming up here. We'll see who takes these. Favorite places to eat in Nashville? There's plenty to choose from.
Oh, in Nashville. Now that's a different question there.
I like Monell's. That's probably my favorite.
I used to always go to what was that Mexican place called over there?
Casa Fiesta.
Yeah, the big one.
Yeah,
that place is good.
Casa Fiesta was great.
Party,
it used to be. Oh yeah, there's a place called Big Bad Breakfast somewhere over where Frank and Ben used to live. I like stopping by there when we see their house. That one was always good. Then of course, I mean, you got to throw down Hattie B's as always. You know, it's always a must. And then there is a place in.
One, Andrew. Dang.
Okay, fine. You can go for one. What you got? I'm leaning in to listen.
Oh,
his
he's
audio.
muted.
His
I don't think anybody can hear you. Your mic is off.
Your mic's
That's
off.
why I was answering. Still can't hear you.
Go down the bottom where the mics are and click on that little
mics.
microphone with this red.
You might have to leave and join back up.
He may have to, yeah, no doubt about it, which is cool.
That's
There,
what
so
I-
Well,
get his response.
In the meantime, you got to go with one of the favorites of mine was Bishop's down in Cool Springs. It's a meet and three type place, and I'm a sucker for meet and threes.
Yes. I got to check out some pizza places there too as well, because we did the Hattie B's this past CRS that I was there, and we didn't get to everything. But I got to go. Somebody even told me too to go to the OG, which is Prince's.
Yeah.
Princess
Gotta-
is good.
yeah. So
What is that?
that's-
What is that meat and three that we ate with
I was just
JB?
that. I can't freaking.
Was it
remember.
Arnold's maybe?
Might have been on.
Was it on the west side?
Can you hear me?
No, it's,
Because Arnold's isn't there anymore, but Arnold's was
still
Arnold's
there.
was close to where Owen used to live.
No, yeah, I know what you're talking about. It wasn't Arnold's. Arnold's was good
Okay,
too.
yeah.
Dang, what the hell is the name of
There's
that?
other where Miranda used to live, but
I'll have to send it to you. It's good. Some good country. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Shout out, Fritz's Hot Chicken, and shout out and rest in peace to Hermitage Cafe.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh man.
Oh,
yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
Give me some pointers here on where to go, man. There's too many to
Man,
choose from.
okay, so Hermitage used to be around in Nashville, but they closed it down. But like they wouldn't open till like 12 o'clock at night, and you go there and smash at about 3 o'clock, and they'd bring you a gravy biscuit like the appetizer. Man, it was just is what you needed to make it, bro.
There have been many a night there. They were cash only though, so you had to go use that damn $7 ATM charge that was in the corner.
Be
The day
responsible
Nashville
and put your
died.
drinks- Be responsible and put your drinks on the credit card and save your cash for a gravy
Save your
biscuit.
cash.
That's
For
it.
the late nights.
Absolutely.
All right, I got to build sports into the conversation because I get Grand Slam sports and music here too. So your teams, so, I mean, football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Who do you guys root for? Come on.
War Eagle, baby. Auburn University.
Yeah, baby.
No, I'm a roll tide kind of guy. You got to go to the University of Alabama on this. We got to teach these people how to win at some point in life.
We'll
Hey.
see about that next year, big dog.
Woo!
The Iron Bowl gets a little bit congested right there too.
That's-
Ain't
Now
got
it does.
That's the
Nice
name
to
of
know
shit. You should have seen us freaking this past year.
It's even worse when you're all in the same van and you're on the road somewhere. We're all watching it separately on our phones. It's the only time. Normally we just pick one dude's phone, put it up there, and everybody watches. But when the Iron Bowl comes around, there ain't no sharing going on here. It's where we're watching it separately.
Somebody's phone's faster than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do this one here. Favorite shows to binge watch.
Entourage.
Entourage.
Is a good
Yes.
one. Yeah, I like that one. And Californication was a cool
Yeah.
one.
Oh yeah. 100%.
I like that
Yeah.
one too. All right, good stuff.
Don't be sleeping on Ancient Aliens, Brandon.
Yeah, dude.
Which one is
You
that
get
one
in the
now?
hotel room and after sound check, you got a couple hours to chill out, hit that History Channel. Friggin'
Hey, man, I'm
get a little
game to
nap
check out
in.
whatever. It don't matter. So if I get on you, hey, we get to the concert, whatever. Y'all put the phone out there too. I'll watch one phone. Nothing wrong with that too. We'll put on one.
That'll
show.
work.
Yeah. I always turn on
fair.
South Park.
Yeah, that's
Which is a good thing, no doubt. All right, let's have fun with this. This one may take some thought, it may not. If you guys were not, and we'll go around the quintet box here. If you guys weren't a working musician, what other career path would each of you have taken?
Oh. I don't know. See, that's
I would say if it was me, I would like my dream other than being a musician. I would like to go to school and learn how to do like turf management and learn how to work on golf courses and try
There
to
you
learn how
go.
to
Yeah,
design greens and stuff like that. I really enjoy that kind of thing.
that's a good. I like that. Nobody said that before either. That's the new one for the show. James, what you got?
James, yeah.
I was doing a contract work, building houses, stuff like that before. That's what our dad did too. So it'd probably be something like that.
Doing
Yeah.
construction, ripping cigs, baby.
Yeah, dude.
I love it. Frank, yourself, what would you have done?
Yeah, I went to school. I got my associate in HVAC. I don't really remember much about it no more, but
I like that.
But,
Andrew, for you?
fireman or truck driver or something.
Fireman. I like that, James. I like that, Frank. I like that. That's
Trucking's a thankless job.
Yeah.
Now I think that's different for me because from a young age I was always like, man, I'm gonna play guitar. So I never even thought about a secondary thing. I was like, yeah, if I had to go to school, I'd go to school for business and make my decision later because I just never thought of anything to do.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a plan B.
I think he was
know
putting
what?
icing on cupcakes whenever he got in the band.
I was. I worked at a cupcake shop my buddy owned.
It-
Hell, I made the icing too. I got really good at making icing.
He was damn good at it.
Hey, you got skills, brother. You got skills that I don't have. So like those.
Not anymore.
Well, not anymore.
That was
Those
over a
nothing butt
decade
cakes,
ago.
They're nothing to play around with. Hey, ladies love those little butt cakes, man. They're good stuff out there. When they walk in, to
That's
get
what
their
I hear.
thing and they walk out, man. That's a dessert for everybody too. So
He's a skilled glazer.
it's-
You make a joke, Bobby.
that new album is coming out real soon. I can't wait for that too, and also to have you guys back to talk about it too. Birmingham Steel across all the streaming platforms out there too. Make sure you guys go check it out, and a whole lot more coming from TDR here in 2024. Appreciate you guys, Andrew, James, Frank, Ben. Appreciate you being with me. Hope you had a great time. Let's do this again around the album release, and if I catch you guys in Nashville at CMA Fest, please say hello. No doubt.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Hey, we come to Texas a lot, so hopefully we can get you some tickets to a show. You got to come hang out with us.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm always about that too, man, to come out and support the artists that support us here on the program. So definitely we'll come out there and do that, have a few drinks, and watch Entourage
Absolutely.
and some of those programs and put them on a screen or a phone or whatever and have a good time. Maybe do a little pre-show, just drink
Hey.
and maybe order some pizzas and just have them delivered right there to the stage
Hey.
before y'all walk off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. And hey, whatever that whiskey was that you had in the ad, that started to sound real good. So we might have to pick up some of that too.
Yeah, it's actually he's got it in Live Oak and it's actually in some of the bars there in Nashville too. So be sure to ask.
Oh, nice.
Bangtail
Okay.
Whiskey, Bangtail Whiskey. And of course you can order it at bangtail.com out there too. So I tell people official whiskey of the show, and it's invaded Nashville, and of course it's
Okay, cool.
originally
Nice.
from Orlando, Florida. It's where the distillery is, but it's all over. Just made its way here into my part of the roots in Texas. So Bangtail
I
Whiskey,
think-
good stuff out there. Yeah.
Make sure you put bangtailwhiskey.com. Otherwise, you're probably going to be in for a treat, man.
Bangtail.com.
I'll have to check with him on that because you could be in for a treat, no doubt. I like how Ben thinks, man. It's just good stuff right there. Make sure you guys pick up Birmingham Steel across all the platforms and visit them, themdirtyroses.com for more of the tour dates and merchandise out there too as well. We're back tomorrow. Good friend Troy Castellano going to drop by, and then Olivia Harms, the Texas artist, on Friday next week, jam-packed. Blanco Brown coming on the show, and a whole lot more. We'll talk about Get Up and some new projects for Blanco Brown coming up next week. Claire Dunn, Kaylee Hammock, we're just jam-packed. Coming up next week, Casey Johns, and a whole lot more here on the Backstage Pass. We'll see you guys tomorrow about 4 here. Same bat time, same bat channel, KKTC, True Country 99.9. And our friends at HighTideCountry.net. Check out the YouTube channel, the Backstage Pass SG. And always, the SportsGuysPodcast.com. We're ranting and raving about something on that website. We'll see you soon. Take care. God bless.